In this world right now, time is one of the most important things that we can make sure that we're focusing on for our employees. And that's kind of confusing. So let me explain it a little bit. We need to make sure of a couple of different things. We need to make sure that we are not overworking our best performers. I will tell you that sometimes it's easy to say, okay, if I have 5 salespeople, my best salesperson who I know is going to close the deal, maybe I give them all the accounts, or maybe all the important accounts that come in, I want to give to them. So when I look at all of the jobs that I've given all of my salespeople, one of them, my favorite salesperson, has way too much work and they feel overwhelmed, but they may never tell me that. So make sure that you're not overworking your performers, because that's a tendency that many CEOs have. And that overworked performer will oftentimes quit before they even tell you they're overworked. So make sure you're asking the question, do you have the right amount of work to do? Do you have too much work to do or too little work to do? Asking that question is really important. And then saying, I really need to know the right answer. I don't want you to leave me one day and say, I was too overworked. So I want you to open communications with me as the manager and tell me when you've got too much on your plate. Make sure that you do that. Also, make sure that you can use time as a reward. One of the great options about being a small business is that you can pay people a little bit with time. What does that mean? Well, a lot of people right now would prefer to have time off than additional pay. So let's say you're in a cash-strapped position and you can't give people bonuses this year. Maybe you could give them some additional time off. I know that takes away from the work that they do, but it's often a less costly option than bonuses. So make sure you say, or make sure you let them know that if they closed a big deal, if they had a great year, that your pay this year, we're not going to be able to do bonuses, but instead we're going to give you 2 or 3 days off. That is a world of difference and will make just very raving fan employees of yours. So make sure that you understand how important time is. Now, that's your competitive advantage against big companies, because big companies can't just offer an extra week of vacation. They can't, and they can't do that, because to do that would cost millions and millions and millions of dollars, because they have so many employees. But you as a small business can do that. And so make sure that you're using time to your advantage. Not only will it make your employees very happy to have a little bit of time off, and we have noted that when employees have downtime, when they come back, they're actually more productive and better employees. But it'll also have the competitive advantage of you keeping employees rather than going to the big firms. And then lastly, make sure that you allow people to work part-time at some time. Of course, I'm very much of a fan of part-time work. But sometimes there are people in our workplace that run into a series of events in their life, whether it be a new baby or whether it be a sick parent or something else that might be happening, where if you would allow them to go from their traditional 40-hour-a-week job to a 20-hour-a-week job for a certain small period of time, when they come back to a 40-hour-a-week job, they're going to be so loyal to you that they're going to be very pleased, because you showed them respect and you showed them that you were able to be flexible during a time in their life when they needed less of a work day. Of course, you pay them less during that time, and so you benefit because you pay less, but they benefit because they're able to do the other thing that they needed to do. So it's really important in closing that we make sure that we understand that work-life balance to employees these days is really important, and that we show them that we are helping them achieve that.